Hello, good people. Welcome back to the Cub Games YouTube channel. Often is the question asked, is Warriors a good deck in GOAT format? Well, Tiso, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's spelled Tiso on the GOAT format Discord. Took this deck to a second place finish in the recent 3v3. And it's got a lot of choices in the deck that were things that I've been playing around with and things that I've been pretty huge fan of for a while. So let's get into it. Might be a little bit long talking about the deck here, so we may not get like multiple matches out of it, but we'll play at least one. We have BLS, Blade Knight, of course, the regular package, DD Warrior, Lady Exile Force, Sasuke, Don Zalug, 2 Kaiku, Breaker, Tribe, and then we have 2 Mystic Swordsman level 2. So, obviously the amount of Chaos Turbo has been growing, and it's like over 30% of the meta now. So this deck was built specifically to focus on the turbo matchup. So it makes a lot of sense to have 2 level 2 in the main if you're going to specifically focus on turbo. So yeah, don't hate that. Just a 14th monster as a second level 2. Obviously, this isn't the best for like ladder or a tournament where you expect a little bit more of a varied meta share. But if you're expecting a lot of turbo, which I think was a fine idea for the 3v3. Whenever I was doing a lot of my scouting and stuff, and we saw some numbers, there was a lot of turbo going around. So don't hate this choice for the event. Spell lineup is just all of the good spells, so don't really have to go over that. Trap lineup is pretty simple as well. We are playing all 3 trap dust shoots, which I think people mostly have just come around to. Oops. I think people have mostly come around to just knowing that, hey, this card is amazing. Everyone's playing turbo. We should play 3 of these. And I have been a fan of 3 dust shoots for a very, very long time. The only other difference in the trap lineup is we have 3 copies of Dust Tornado. So the first paper tournament that I ever played for GOAT format, I did actually play 3 Dust Tornado. I was like, well, this card's pretty versatile. It's going to be live against just about anything, so why don't I just, cut all the fat out of the deck and just play 3 Dust Tornadoes. So I don't hate this inclusion, and this was, the discussion around this was brought up in the Discord by Ivan, I believe, that 3 Dust Tornado is not the best against Chaos Turbo. A lot of times they're just going to be setting, dead trap dust shoots, knocks and stuff against you, so yeah, it's not the best there, but I have also toyed around with playing, bringing it in against Chaos Turbo because they're going to be bringing in, Sakuretsus and stuff. So where it won't be as amazing game 1, obviously you do have a good game 1 matchup against Turbo. You've got these 3 trap dust shoots, 2 knocks. We have 2 level 2s, and then just every other monster in the deck is like, screw you, Turbo. So I think you can actually, you can make that trade. We'll have a couple copies of a card that's not as good against Turbo, but still serviceable. And Tiso even brought up the idea that, the second effect of Dust Tornado is pretty nice to set up plays. You can sort of just, set this, play around Heavy Storm or whatever, or you just activate this, destroy whatever they decide to set on their turn, and then you can set a Call of the Hunted. And that can be, just kind of lethal out of nowhere for some plays. So Dust Tornado, while not as good against Chaos Turbo, does have its applications in the matchup. And then like game 2 and 3, they're going to be bringing in Sakuretsus and stuff. And it just makes it much more live. So instead of filling up sideboard slots, which is something that Tiso touched on, you get more sideboard slots because you added this card that's not bad in the main to the main. So I like the thinking behind that. I'm excited to play 3 Dust Tornado again. I really like the card. I think the Pharaoh Servant version looks sweet. So yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that decision that they made. Everything else just kind of normal in the deck. Very streamlined. Cut all the fat out of the deck pretty much. I like that a lot. That's how I prefer to play Warriors. I don't prefer like having the Magician of Faith, Spirit Reaper in the main, even though those cards are powerful. That's just not how I prefer to play the deck. I do like Jar of Greed a lot, though. And the reason that it wasn't included in this deck list, I believe, was explained because they were being sided out in almost every matchup. Because they wanted more cards that actually do things, and that makes a lot of sense. I do side out Jar of Greed a lot, so just this was built with keeping in mind that they want as many sideboard slots as possible. So I don't hate the idea of not playing Jar of Greed in the deck. I totally understand that. I just personally like the card a lot, but doing it this way does free up a lot of sideboard slots, so understand that as well. I've been having a problem recently with the testing of having a very tight sideboard for Warriors, so maybe this is something that I can change in the future, go with these 3 Dust Tornadoes, and have a more open sideboard. So getting into that sideboard that we've been talking about for a while, a lot of ideas in here that I like and that I've been playing for a while, so very on board with this. We have 2 Mobius, 1 Chaos Sorcerer. We have the Gravekeeper Spies to go along with the 2 Mobius. We also have Spirit Reaper and Zombra, both good against the aggressive strategies. I, of course, have not been a big fan of the Zombra in the past, especially when I'm playing the Zaborgs. I like to play all 3 Gravekeeper Spies, but Zombra does have merit. I will concede that. You can get it off of Rhoda, so that makes it really good. And if you're just playing the 2 Monarchs, I don't see a reason that you can't just play the Zombra, and we do have the Spirit Reaper, so we have like 2 Spies, Spirit Reaper, that are easy sacks for the Mobius, so it's not like it's just totally taken away from your game plan. It's just a card that I'm generally not the biggest fan of, but understand why it's in here, totally fine. We have 2 King Tigers. I usually just play 3. I absolutely love this card. So good in so many matchups, and then, of course, the matchups that it's good in, this card is just nuts. So I usually try to find room for a 3rd. Generally, it's going to be over this Amazoness Archer, but I guess if you're expecting burn and stuff, Archer's fine. I don't hate this card. It's just one I usually just decide I'm not going to play cards that are like sort of dedicated to burn. I normally don't feel a need to play cards for time whenever I'm playing Warriors. Just games generally just don't go to time with the deck, so I generally tend to not include this card, but I understand its inclusion. I would probably play a 3rd King Tiger if it was me, but that's fine. We have 1 Book of Moon, which I'm a fan of in the side. 1 My Body as a Shield, which is a card that I've shown off on the channel, I think a couple of times, at least once. I know there was at least 1 video with it because it's actually the thumbnail. The idea behind this card is you bring it in almost every single game 2 and 3 because people are going to be siding in battle traps. I know they didn't specifically say it, but Tiso was bringing it in against Chaos Turbo, from what I understand, because it helps get your Mystic Swordsman level 2 attacks pushed through, and I like that a lot. So you just bring it in almost every matchup, stop the Sakuretsus, get your attacks in. I think this card has a lot of promise, and that's why I've been playing around with it for a while. So I'm glad to see it do well in a tournament. We have 1 copy of Zing Zin Hu. I don't really like playing 2, so I like this a lot. I believe Tiso was actually bringing this in against Turbo as well, because the comment that was mentioned was that these help push through your level 2 attacks, so I think it makes sense. And, you know, like I said before, I've been playing around with like bringing in Dust Tornadoes and stuff against Turbo, so I don't hate bringing in the 1 Zing because they're bringing in, you know, 3 Sakuretsu armors, sometimes 3 Solemn Judgments as well. I think Zing Zin Hu has a lot more applications post-board against Chaos Turbo now. We have 1 copy of Compulse, which is a card that I've come around to a little bit, which is actually kind of weird. The first paper tournament that I played 3 Dust Tornadoes, and I also played a random Compulse. Compulse actually comes up really big in the control matchup. It can bounce Thousand Eyes Restrict. It's decent against Burn. It can bounce those Ojama tokens and stuff. Problematic monster that you need to get off the board to attack over. I like Compulse quite a bit. It just makes sense in the side, I think, for a lot of matchups. And then we have the 3rd copy of Sakuretsu Armor for the aggressive decks. So that is the deck. I like a lot of stuff that's going on here. Hopefully some of these moves will get some more people to start innovating on Warriors, and I can go back to playing this deck a little bit more, because I absolutely love the Warrior deck and just, you know, aggressive strategies in general. So that's the deck. Let's get into a match. All right, we got ourselves a match here. Let's go with rock, because I never go with rock. It actually wins this time. Cool. We get to be on the play. Love to see it with the aggro deck. U2 opponent. Alright, we've got quite a good hand here. I don't want to fire off the Graceful or the Rhoda. I think I'm just going to set the Trap Dust Shoot. I don't really like to set the Solemn Judgment turn 1. Obviously, this backfires if we're playing against like Reasoning Gate or something like that. But I could Graceful Charity here to find some traps, but I just don't think that's the way to go. I want to get more knowledge, especially with having a Trap Dust Shoot. Dust Shoot is good in combination with Solemn Judgment. I just don't like summoning it turn 1. Okay. Or setting it turn 1. I guess you can't summon a Solemn Judgment. Opponent has a very good hand, obviously. So it looks like a mirror. And our opponent has Pot of Greed, Graceful Charity, or not Pot of Greed, Duo, which are the best of the Trinity in Warriors. Why did I lose 1,000? Alright, Solemn Judgment leaves, and we're going to get rid of Nobleman of Crossout. I guess the plus side here is we have a BLS, and our opponent has no monsters unless they drew one off a Pot of Greed. They did not. They just have 5 back row, so I imagine they have a Solemn Judgment down there. Okay, we draw Pot of Greed, which is nice, so we can recoup some of this advantage here. Well, we drew one of the 2 level 2s. That's not really what we're looking for here. But let's just play out the Graceful Charity. Alright, so let's get rid of level 2. I like the Tribe, so I think the Rhodas can help us set up BLS, though. But, like, our opponent's already set their whole hand, so we don't really want to get Donzalug. So let's just throw away a Rhoda. And then let's Rhoda for DD Warrior Lady. I don't really want to get Blade Knight here because it's just a 1600 just chilling. Whereas DD Warrior Lady, of course, can take out a monster if they draw one. It's likely just to get destroyed and go to the graveyard anyway. Please just Solemn Judgment it. Just rip off the Solemn Judgment here, please. Torrential, that's fine. Alright, set Dust Tornado, set Sakuretsu. So, unfortunately, we do still have a level 2 in the deck. But at least, you know, Graceful Charity was able to clear one of those. And the Delinquent Duo did hit a dead card, so. Just going to get rid of the Blade Knight, Call of the Haunted. I will Dust Tornado. That way I'm not just throwing out a blind Dust Tornado here. Are they actually thinking about solemning this? Does that mean they have 2 solemns? That'd be very bad. If they don't, I can just summon Tribe and clear this Blade Knight with whatever I draw. Another Dust Tornado. I don't think I summon out the Tribe. I want to be able to answer a monster if the opponent draws it. And if they're, you know, considering throwing out a Solemn on that Dust Tornado. Alright, now I will attempt to get back the DD Warrior Lady. Okay, we're going to let that go. I guess like they would Solemn the Tribe as well, potentially, but I can throw off a Dust Tornado, try to hit the Solemn. I know that's not the most consistent thing, but is a potential thing we can do here. Alright, so one of those is a bluff, so I don't think I even want to throw... Well, I guess I do, because like maybe they don't have a battle trap down there. I imagine they would have tried to get rid of the DD Warrior Lady, right? Yeah, let's throw this Dust Tornado into one of those, I think. Let's hit this first one. Oh, we hit a Solemn Judgment. That's nice. Okay, Torrential's not bad. So I would imagine this DD Warrior Lady is not going to live that long, right? Alright, Ring probably best case scenario. So now we don't have to play around the damage from our opponent's Ring, and we still get... We effectively got into attacks with that DD Warrior Lady. As far as damage goes, so I like that. Solemn Judgment, I'm a pretty big fan of here. Still don't think I want to summon the Tribe, especially when one of my back rows is a Torrential. Okay, they drew a Dust Tornado, that's fine. Would love to draw a Dark here. No summon. Okay. I don't think I need to be pushing with this Tribe here. I really want to hold at least until this Torrential's gone. Alright, we get rid of our opponent's Tribe, which is pretty nice. Duo. Okay. I don't want to turn on our opponent's Trap Dust Shoots. So I'm going to set the Duo. There's probably not a spot where it's going to get more value, but we'll see. Maybe the opponent holds another card in hand here. Blade Knight is fine. Take 2,000. Opponent's still holding a card. Wonder if it's BLS. Alright, Call of the Haunted is interesting. So maybe... Maybe I just want to pitch this BLS. That's so hard to do, right? Alright, let's summon Tribe. What do they have really to chain here? Torrential's gone. Ring is gone. I don't really have anything to chain here. Right? And their Call of the Haunted is gone as well. So they can't call back Blade Knight. Wow, what is their back row? Interesting. Just duo away their BLS in hand. So they don't draw a Dark here and just, you know, attack into the Tribe and be able to summon a BLS. Maybe that was a reason to duo the turn before rather than trying to wait. Okay, so we set a Snatch Steal. That's fine. Warrior Lady. Okay. All right. Dust Tornado's not going to do it. I guess we could give the opponent the chance to maybe not attack. Who knows? No. Okay. So our opponent had a better hand and they drew like all live cards. And we drew a lot of our blanks. So unfortunate there, but let's bring in the Sork, let's bring in the Mobius, Spy, Spirit Reaper, Zombara, Book of Moon, My Body, the whole sideboard. Okay. So we we get rid of the Dust Shoots, we get rid of Nox, Kaikus. I like to get rid of one Blade Knight, we can get rid of two of these. Just get rid of a second Blade Knight. So light count, 1, 2, 3. We're not siding any in, so maybe we just don't bring in the Chaos Sorcerer. I'm down with that too. Okay, sure. I think that's fine. No, thank you. I think the opponent has been on the channel a couple of times. I recognize this name. Okay, so I like this hand. Just rip it off and set the Spy. Set these and pass the turn. We don't have any battle traps, obviously, but that's fine. We have Spy, the ultimate battle trap. And then we have Zombara. Okay. Opponent's good at drawing Pot of Greeds, that's for sure. Welcome to GOAT format. Exile Force. Yeah. Okay, I understand. That's fine. Let's just go ahead and take out two of these. My Body as a Shield. That could actually be a pretty good one right here. Alright. So we're just going to hit him up for 1800. I'm going to set this My Body. If my opponent summons a tribe and activates the effect, just blow him all the way back to the Shadow Realm. Okay. Instead, we're just going to crash Sasuke's. It's fine. Mobius, you say? Okay. I'm going to summon Zombara. And just pass the turn. If my opponent wants to set some back row, then we have Mobius with Solemn backup. And if they don't want to set some back row, we may still just have Mobius with Solemn backup. Oh, we're doing it. We're doing it. Yes. Yes. Oh, they're going to Solemn? I'm going to Solemn back. Oh, yeah. They played Swords. This is good. Oh, we have a light in the graveyard, too. Oh, man. Normal summon the Mobius. Special summon the BLS. That's how you win a game against Warriors. That was so good. Oh my god. Got to My Body, the stupid tribe. I've been talking about that for like so long. It's the first time I've ever actually gotten to do it, I think. Oh, I wish I had room for this Chaos Sorcerer, but like I could cut, I don't know. I could cut the Book of Moon, but that just seems not amazing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess I have 4 if I cut a Blade Knight. I'm on the draw. Let's just cut Delinquent Duo. I like cutting cutting duo against warriors on the draw, because they often just set a lot of cards. I know Delinquent Duo, obviously, in your opening hand is very good against warriors, but outside of that, like, you're playing an attrition battle, you don't want it a whole lot. You don't want to draw it off the top, I guess is what I'm getting at here. All right, so we have sort of borderline hand. This is likely a spy, but Zombra, you know, attacks over one of those. We have a ring for the other, or we have this tribe. I'm just going to go to the Zombra route. If my opponent has, like, a Blade Knight set a bunch of cards, it's fine. We have these things as backup. Oh, I'm just going to... Book of Moon the Zombra. Okay. How much do I want to set to protect it? Not that much, right? I think I could just set the Mirror Force. If they have a breaker... I guess, let's just set the Ring of Destruction. If they have, like, breaker plus flip up that monster attack over the Zombra, that's fine. I can just kill the breaker with the ring. So we're not going down a card, and then I have the tribe to take out whatever. They just have MST into the back row. That's fine. Lagging a little bit here. Sorry. We'll lose the ring. But I would imagine that means probably no breaker here, right? We'll see. Oh, opponent's lagging too. Good old Dueling Book servers. Alright, Donzalug is upsetting. They left in Zombra, okay. Alright, don't hit the tribe, please. Hit the Heavy Storm. That's that could also be problematic. Alright, they just had one to set, so that's fine. Man, I wish I could have kept the Heavy Storm, though. Let's summon Tribe. See if we can pick up a +1 here. Get rid of the Kooks. Attack. Okay. So did at least get to pick up a plus here. If my opponent pro set heavy, my opponent pro set heavy. Yeah, good for them. Dust Tornado, okay. They hit the Mirror Force, which is obviously the more power of the two cards that I have set, but we at least get to keep the Sakuretsu armor, so hopefully the tribe gets to stick around. It doesn't, but, you know, we're just going to 1-for-1 with an Exiled Force. Could be worse. Spy off the top. Well, we'll take Judgment, too. That's fine. So now we're in this sort of mid-game where both players have a high life total, but we've sort of attritioned each other out of resources. And now we're just going to be 1-for-1ing each other to death. Ooh. Yes. Please. Spy with Solemn Judgment backup is where I want to be. Their Exiled Force is gone. Reaper's actually pretty good here. So now I could start attacking with one of the spies. As long as they don't have Torrential Tribute, but, like, I could Solemn the Torrential, right? They don't have a light in the yard. This is a bit aggressive, but I think this is fine. I'm actually going to summon the other one in defense. Just because Spy is so good. Alright, no Torrential. We get in for 12. Set the Spirit Reaper and pass. I did have the Solemn Judgment for, like, the Torrential or Mirror Force, but I don't think I was going to really throw it off because it's, you know, technically a +1 or technically a -1 for me. Blade Knight's fine. Sick. So I get to keep my spies. Amazing. Breaker. Don't particularly want to summon Breaker here. So let's just switch Spy to Defense. I don't think my opponent has. I wonder what their cards are, actually. But I don't think... I mean, they could still have, like, Sakuretsu or Mirror Force back there. They wouldn't use that on one Spy attack. Being all the way at, like, 7,800 life points, so... Oh. A BLS, you say? I don't think I have a light in the yard, right? I do not. So... I think we're just going to play the pass game. We got to that mid game where we were both down on resources, and now, you know, we're just going to sit here and both build up on resources. Yeah, it's fine. Man, getting a Sasuke here, I think I have to Judgment it. But that gives him a light in the graveyard for a BLS. They could also have a Judgment down. They don't. Okay, no BLS follow-up is good. I draw a Sasuke of my own. Okay, so how do I want to do this then? Probably just hold it. I don't think there's a reason to set it. It's certainly not a reason to summon it. I could summon Breaker here. See if I can pull one of their back row, but I don't think that's great either, because if they... I don't know. I'm just going to pass. These have been some great games, no matter how they end, so... Oh, Pot of Greed, you say? Alright, well, that's the first Trinity of the game. My body as a shield, okay. Okay, now we're talking. Man, I can protect BLS with that. So I think now I want to actually summon out the Breaker. Just start working on their back row, because I do have this MST. And then I have a My Body to protect the BLS as well, whenever we get to that point. And if they want a Torrential here, obviously I have My Body. Yeah. I guess this is... this is a little risky, actually. Oh. Shit. Okay. Well, I mean, I may have thrown away this game. Yep. That does it. Alright. May have thrown away the game at the end. I think I got a little... tunnel visioned on sort of like my own game plan, trying to push with this BLS, and maybe should have just kept going, but like that, I don't know, waiting opens my opponent up to also potentially drawing the BLS, and I think, I don't know, making some sort of push there. The My Body, it was a little risky, for sure. I don't know. A lot of things could have gone wrong. Our opponent could have ended up drawing into a duo or something, but... I don't know. There are a lot of ways that you could go with plays there. I'm not so sure that... Oh, God. Yeah, alright. So, I mean, the opponent had good back row. If they didn't have the ring plus Torrential, and, like, they had just drawn the Torrential, so I was kind of thinking that they weren't on the Torrential. So, yeah, no, that's fine. They were good games. You could make a lot of different cases, I think, for how I played that turn. But that's what it's going to be, and that's going to be the video. This is a pretty long match, so hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be back with the next one.